Hello. Welcome to my channel. Stay with us until the end of this video and answer the question at the end of the video. You can send us your horror stories to this Telegram ID so that we can broadcast them on YouTube so that everyone can benefit from your experience. You support me by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. Thanks. Let's go to our scary story. Hello. I am Alexander. My story is related to the train that I have taken. When I was young, our home was a little far from the city, but I could get home by taking the train. One night when I was out with many of my friends, a very strange thing happened to me. It was around 11 o'clock when I wanted to go back home because my parents were very worried. I wasn't used to being out much at night, so I was stressed and wanted to go home early, so I quickly went to the train station to get on the train and get home. When I arrived, the train I was riding on had broken down and it was replaced by train 07. There was a rumor behind this train that there are ghosts on this train because it had an accident once, and from then on everyone is afraid to board this train. I had to get on the train. The train was completely empty because almost no one gets on this train. The train was very messed up and it was as if it had just crashed. I had to endure 6 stops to get home. Nothing happened until Station 3. But at Station 3, an old man boarded the train and told me, "Why are you here?" I said, "I am going to the house." He seemed completely crazy. He said, "My wife is here. See if you can find her. My legs hurt." I said, "Okay, Doc," but I did not find. I told him that there was no one in the train cars, and he lowered his head. Then, a very old woman came from a train car where I had seen no one. I was surprised and turned to the old man and said, "Your wife is here." But I saw that the old man had completely vanished, as if he was never there. When I turned back to the old woman, she had disappeared as well. No one boarded until Station 5. Even at Station 5, but when the train started, I saw about 50 people in the train carriage. I said to myself, "How is this possible?" Until a little girl approached me and asked, "Which station is this?" I told her we were near Station 6. The little girl then said to me, "We died near Station 7. I was very surprised and frightened and asked, "Aren't you human?" She replied, "We are the dead who died on this train." I cried out of fear. When I opened my eyes, I was at Station 6 and there was no one in the train car. I ran away at full speed. It was really scary. Hi, I'm James. I want to tell about a legend that is very popular in our city. The legend of the faceless driver. This train conductor, who has no face, is very scary. According to legend, he takes the train to another world, and one of my friends claims to have seen this conductor on the train. You will hear this story from my friend. I boarded the train at 6 o'clock in the evening, and the carriages around me were full, except for the first carriage, where there was no one, and the train was designed in such a way that the train driver could be seen. When I went and sat in the first train car, I looked at the train driver. At first, I didn't see his face. When I looked closely, I realized the driver didn't have a face at all. On one hand, I was happy that this was the same legend, and on the other hand, I was scared. I thought to myself, maybe I was seeing things they're illusion. I got closer to the driver's car. When I called out to him, he turned toward me, and I clearly saw that he had no face. I was really scared. Not only did he lack a face, but he was also transparent like a ghost, and I could see through his body. I shouted with all my heart, but no one could hear me, and the train cars were closed. The driver got up and suddenly disappeared completely, and I fainted from fear. When I opened my eyes, I saw one of the people on the train. He said, "You have reached your station." I got off the train, but I don't know how that person knew my station. If the driver disappeared, then who was the driver? I wanted to go to another city because of my work. The company gave me a train ticket so that I could go. It was a very good offer. I accepted. It was Tuesday morning, and I had everything ready. I said goodbye to my wife and headed to the train station. I handed over my ticket, took care of everything necessary, and finally boarded the train. I settled into my compartment, watched a bit of a movie on my phone, and then fell asleep. It would take exactly 2 days to reach that city. The first day passed easily, and on the second morning, I could only see a black shadow outside the compartment running from left to right, or I thought it might be a child playing until the compartment door opened by itself, and the compartment window was completely closed. I stood up, closed the door, and it opened again slowly, and I stood up again and closed it. The third time, the compartment door opened very strongly and closed very strongly. I got out of the compartment to see who was doing this, but everyone was in their own compartment. I was astonished. Somehow, I managed to fall asleep, and when night came, everything started. A black shadow appeared in my compartment, hitting me forcefully and saying, "You will die," before fleeing. When I opened the compartment door, I saw a short, horned creature. I was very frightened. The creature quickly ran away. It was just tormenting me, opening and closing the compartment door, and I was extremely frightened. I stayed awake until morning. When the train finally reached the destination and I was about to disembark, I saw the creature in the compartment again, but this time it was much larger and completely black. When I finished my work and wanted to go back to my city, I went back by plane out of fear. It's true that I lost a lot of money, but I won't take the train again since then. If you were in these separate situations, what would you have done? And if a similar story has happened to you, you can share your story with us in the YouTube comments or on Telegram.